Hello, my friends. I'm Alexandra, founder of Life with Herpes. I'm excited to be here with you. Happy Wednesday. All right, I'm going to tap the screen just while I wait for you guys to join and while I thank you for spending your time with me. My name's Alexandra. I'm founder of Life with Herpes. I was diagnosed with HSV-1 in 2003 and HSV-2 in 2011. So I have been living with herpes for quite a while. I have dated with herpes. I've broken up with people and had herpes. I've gotten married and had herpes. I've had a baby and I have herpes. So I have done the journey with life when we're diagnosed with herpes. And as you know, when we're first diagnosed, we think that our life is completely over. And we think that there's no way anybody is going to accept us. We believe that we're unlovable, and we believe that that we're gonna have to live this life of forgiveness. Like I sinned, how do I ever ask for forgiveness? And how are we gonna go through life now living with herpes? So anyways, I wanna talk a little bit about that. If you've been on my lives before, you know that I get hundreds of questions and I do my best to go through them in the order in which they have been received. So I will answer your questions as they come in. Also, I am waiting for someone I have a repairman coming. I have a leak in my roof. Oh, don't know if you can see it. See, right? There, I have a leak. So I have a repairman coming and I don't know when he's going to arrive. He's supposed to be here soon. But I thought, hey, I just want to go live because I want to go live with you all. Okay, so feel free to ask your questions. Feel free to, there's nothing that's TMI. There's nothing that's off the books. I do ask that you keep it rated G because this app, or all apps, really like it rated G. And of course, you know, do your best to keep it clean. Like I'm saying, you know, rated G. PG's kind of okay, but rated G is really the best. So I just had to have a sip of my tea. With that being said, while I'm waiting for you guys to join, I've recorded some really interesting podcasts recently. Not only am I guest on many, many podcasts, but I've had two amazing guests on my podcast recently. One of them is Elizabeth, and it is with dealing with our nervous system. So if you guys want to go to my website, Life with Herpes, you can go to the podcast section. You'll see that it's up there. It is truly amazing. It is awesome. It is, oh my goodness, all of the traumas that store in our body and how that really impacts us living with herpes and other things living with herpes. And then I recorded one yesterday that's not out, but it's how our thyroid is in link with the herpes virus. So there's lots of different herpes viruses. There's, you know, what we're talking about is genital herpes or oral herpes, but there's Epstein-Barr, there's chickenpox. Those are all herpes viruses, and those viruses do havoc on some of our internal systems. So it's a matter of being aware and being in charge of them. Do most people have some form of it? Yes. I love that question. Most people have everybody has herpes. Now, there's different forms of herpes. So there are, like we were just saying, Epstein-Barr, aka mono. Mono is herpes. If you've had mono, you've had herpes. If you've had chickenpox, you've had herpes. Specifically, we're talking about HSV-1, HSV-2. HSV-1, 2 out of 3 people have. That's a lot of people. 2 out of 3 people have HSV-1. 1 out of 6 have HSV-2. So many, many, many people are living with what we're talking about, genital herpes or oral herpes or the blisters or the stigma herpes, the bad herpes, whatever we want to call it. I don't like to call it bad herpes because, again, everybody has it. So everybody's exposed to it. That's something I also want us to realize. Everybody's exposed to it. You're not exposed to it because you were doing something bad or you're doing something wrong or you're shady or, you know, having risky business or whatever you want to say. Everybody's exposed to herpes. It's just a matter if you pick it up or not. So roughly 80% of the population is living with herpes. So many, many, many people have herpes. My partner and I both stopped taking the daily pill, switched to the vitamins you recommended. Awesome. I'm so happy to hear that, Asia. Yeah, I mean, there's lots of different ways to go about living with herpes. You can take the daily antiviral. It's a prophylactic. You can use it as a prophylactic. What it does is it helps keep the virus dormant in our system. And it does do a very good job of that. It is a drug. It is something that you have to have prescribed by your doctor. It is something that you can take. I took that for 3 years consistently, and I don't take it anymore. For me personally, I choose not to take antivirals. I just don't want to take medication that I don't need to take. So what I like to take instead are supplements. And so what we have here is this one is a non-negotiable, and this one's specifically for herpes. It's lysine. It's a essential amino acid. It's a protein that we can use that basically helps block the replication of the herpes virus. So it does a really, really, really good job of keeping the arginine, which feeds the herpes virus. It basically blocks it from the herpes virus. So by taking this daily, it can help with prodrome. It can help with outbreaks. It can help speed up recovery. It's not 100%. Like, nothing's 100%. I would say the best 100% thing you could do is take the antiviral. But if you're like me and you're like, I don't want to take the antiviral, then I would say the next best thing is taking lysine. Then after that, we have Monolaurin, which is lauric acid. It is helpful with dissolving or disrupting the outer shell of the HSV virus. HSV is an enveloped virus. And so what it does is it helps dissolve that outer shell so that our immune system can penetrate it. So I also take this daily just for all overall immune health, other enveloped viruses. And then Andrographis is extremely potent in helping with just the HSV virus, helping fight it. It definitely helps fight it. So it helps support our overall immune health. So these are my 3 non-negotiables. They are all linked for you in the bio. You do get a discount when you use my link. I've been on Lysine for 3 years. Like I said, non-negotiable. I get questioned all the time. Hey, will you use my Lysine? Hey, will you use my supplements? Hey, will you try this? And my answer is no. Like, no, I will not try yours because I know that I have the best. These are the best out there. So they're all linked in there for you. So I'm really glad to hear, Asia, that you're saying that you guys are trying it. See what happens. See what happens for your body. You might have a little bit of a bumpy road at first because your body was used to the antiviral. But who knows? Maybe you're going to be like, this is awesome. I didn't need the antivirals. How long after an outbreak can you resume normal activity with your partner? So your doctor is going to say, the CDC, WebMD, all those, they are going to say a week post an outbreak once it's all cleared. That's what they are going to say. I would say for you, it's up to you and your partner. What feels comfortable for you, what feels comfortable for your partner. Me specifically, I wait about 24 hours after an outbreak is gone. Once I feel it's gone, I don't feel any tingles, I don't feel any itch. When I touch it, there's no sensation, there's no like leftover like bump, but that's me. So you do what works for you and your partner. Like I said, if you want to play it absolutely safe, wait a week. Asia said, we like the idea of putting those vitamins in our body instead of just a daily antiviral. Yes, I agree. Can you find out if you asymptomatically shed? No, you can't. Unfortunately, there's no way. I mean, you can go to your doctor and get swabbed every single day, but that's not realistic for you. It's not realistic for your doctor. That's not realistic for your insurance company. So at this point, there's no way to know when you're shedding, which is unfortunate. I would say though, if you feel the prodrome, if you feel the tingles, if you feel the itch, if you feel a burn, if you feel any sort of sensation like that, that might be a sign that you may be getting an outbreak. So you would potentially be contagious, or that maybe the virus is having some sort of symptomatic shedding. So I would be aware of that. Don't mind me while I put on some lotion. I've been making, total side note, I'm a sourdough junkie. I started making sourdough. Well, I got everything for Christmas last year. So I've been into making sourdough. Anyways, Thanksgiving's coming up and the holidays are coming up. And so I have been making tons and tons and tons of breads and pizza doughs and cookies and all sorts of things because the holidays are coming. And anyways, my hands are so dry from all, like the sourdough, I feel like dries my nails and dries my cuticles. Anyways, total side note on sourdough. This is not the sourdough. This is not life with sourdough. This is life with herpes. Can you write the names of the supplements? They're all linked for you. You can definitely check them out. It's Lysine. Here's Monolaurin. Here's Lysine. And we have Andrographis. What I do have for you, if you want to check it out, if you are new to being diagnosed with herpes, if herpes is something that is new in your life, or even if it's not new in your life, just you're deciding to deal with it at this point in your life, I do a free ebook. It is 21 pages. It is Outbreak Remedies. You can go to the link in my bio or go to outbreakremedies.com and download it. Like I said, it's free. It walks you through the supplements. It walks you through lysine. It walks you through natural ways to help you deal with the pain, how to soothe the pain, how to help skin repair, how to help with recovery, natural things like Epsom salt. You can do, I'm obviously a big fan of the recovery soak because this is what I created, but we have Epsom salt soaks. We have all sorts of things, natural things that you can use over the counter. This one has some extra added ingredients that are just thebomb.com. And it has essential oils. It has olive oil. It has oregano oil, other essential oils. This is a Secret Society wellness company that I own, that I created because people like you, like me, that have herpes, I wish you could smell it. This has eucalyptus and peppermint in it. This is the rescue balm. We sell out of this pretty much every single month. This is something that you guys just absolutely love, and you can apply it directly to your outbreak. It has a nice little tingle. It feels fresh down there, but this is something that I know I use. It has some great ingredients like lemon balm, eucalyptus oil, peppermint oil, all sorts of things that are HSV fighting essential oils, as well as wound repair, as well as helping with pain. So I do talk about that in the free ebook, but I also do have a lot of products. I talk about other products as well, not necessarily the products that Secret Society Wellness has. So there's lots of things that we can do naturally to help with this. Do I have HSV1 or HSV2? I have both. I have both type 1 and type 2. I have type 1 oral and type 2 genital. Been living with type 1 since 2003 and type 2 since 2011. So for a long time. I feel like when I sweat, it's a different smell than my body used to smell like before I started. I don't know about that. Maybe that has something to do with the antivirals. I don't know if it has a direct, I don't know, right? But it could just be your body's going through something. It could be different supplements. I know my body smells differently depending on my cycle, also depending on what I eat. It depends on how much water I'm drinking. Speaking of water, since I got onto my sourdough kick, I'll also talk about some other things that I do. I would say starting at the beginning of summer, for the last year, I've been having just lemon water, hot water with lemon, a half a lemon in it every single morning. And I do that because it adds kind of that bitter into my stomach. It starts my digestion. It aids me in having that morning movement, and it just hydrates me. Starting in the summer, what I've done is I've started to add salt to my water. So I have salt water and lemon water every single morning. I feel like it wakes me up. I feel like it refreshes me. And I feel like it also adds natural electrolytes. So you have the vitamins and nutrients from the lemon, you have the hydration from the water, and you also have minerals from the salt. And it's called real salt. I don't have it with me. If you guys are really interested in this, I can do a whole video, so let me know. But I drink this every single morning, and it gives me the natural electrolytes. I don't feel like I sweat as much. I'm a runner. I work out every single day, and I live in Las Vegas, and so I sweat a lot in the summer. When I take this before I work out, I feel like I'm not depleted. I still sweat, of course, but I'm not depleted. So this is something that I swear by. So just half a lemon and it's called real salt. It's from Utah. It's pink. It's not Himalayan salt, but it's real salt. Anyways, if you want to know more about sourdough, if you want to know more about my salt water, lemon water, please let me know. But I will get back to herpes because that is why you are here. Did I have a C-section? No, I had a vaginal delivery. So yeah, I had my little boy out vaginally. It took 3 days. It was awesome. Guys, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the hearts. I love seeing the hearts. I love seeing the follows. I love seeing the shares. I have opened up and I've been talking about, my life with herpes publicly since 2017. So I am doing this so that you don't have to live feeling ostracized. You don't have to live feeling alone. So you don't have to live going, oh my gosh, what do I do next? How do I deal with this? Do I date? Do I disclose? When do I disclose? What do I need to do? All of that. So please forward this with anybody that needs to hear it. I think I shared this with people. I didn't mean to. Anyways, I think I accidentally just forwarded this to my cousin. Hey, cuz, if you're watching. Anyways, thank you for the follows. Thank you for the shares. I really appreciate it. Kayla's asking, do I have herpes? You would probably want to get that checked. Maybe you do, maybe you don't, but you could get a blood test and see if you have the IgGs, which would be the antibodies for the HSV virus. Most likely you've come in contact with it, whether it's sexual or non-sexual, whether it is through a relative, a family member kissing you, or it is through, being intimate with a partner. It's definitely something that is out there, and there's people that we love that have it. What is the best way to disclose to a new partner? I have a lot of anxiety around this. I totally understand the anxiety because what we're really scared of is the rejection. We believe that we are going to be rejected because of this virus. When we get herpes, we believe that we're unlovable. However, I really want to invite you and everybody else on this live, including myself, to realize that those fears of rejection, those fears of being unlovable were there before. I'm going to say that again. It was there before. It just wasn't as dominant in your life. Maybe it was there and you would just kind of like, I don't hear it. But it was there, and there's something that maybe you feel, maybe it's a conditional love that you dealt with. Maybe you felt that maybe your parents didn't have a loving relationship, and so you were scared of going into a relationship and being vulnerable with somebody. But anyways, rejection happens for 3 reasons. Number 1, it happens because the person is not emotionally mature to be able to have these conversations. Number 2, the person is deep-rooted in his or her beliefs that are not going to change. I like to use the example of politics or religion. If you have somebody that has conservative values, they're not going to agree with the liberal values. A liberal is not going to agree with the conservative values. Period. The end. It's not going to change, right? You're not going to change that person if that is so deeply rooted in who they are. Or number 3, the person is not into you. So it has nothing to do with herpes. It's the person is either not into you or has a set of beliefs about herpes, but is unwilling to see who you are through it. And so if that's the case, then this person isn't worth your time. So back to disclosing, I recommend figuring out what it is that you want in your relationship. If this is like DTF, if this is like an F buddy, if this is like very casual, promiscuous type of relationship, then just disclose right up front. Like, you may not see this person again. Doesn't matter, right? This person isn't somebody that is necessarily in your life. This isn't necessarily somebody that you care about. This isn't necessarily somebody that you're going to spend time with other than DTF. So just disclose and get it out there and move on. And if the person rejects you, like, no hard feelings, because there really wasn't anything else there, right? If this is somebody that you want to have a long-term relationship, you feel the foundation, you feel all the warm and fuzzies. This is like we agree, we have the same goals, we have the same life goals, we have the same outlook for everything that we want in life together. This is somebody I want to build a relationship with. This is somebody I want to grow with, right? Have the umbrella conversation. What is our relationship like? What are we doing? Are we both monogamous? Are we dating other people? Are we going to be monogamously intimate? What is it that we want? Then talk about sexual health. What are we going to do about birth control? Where are we with this? What are we thinking? Have you been tested? Have I been tested? I haven't been tested, or you have been tested, whatever. Let's go get tested. Let's get tested. The reason why it's so important is so many of these STIs out there have asymptomatic symptoms. We can be living with something and not know it. And I don't want to accidentally transmit something to you, and vice versa. And the reason why this is so important to me is because I didn't have this conversation in the past, and I ended up getting herpes. I have HSV, I have genital HSV, and this is why it's important to me. So that's a good way to have those conversations. Most people may never have an outbreak. You're right, majority of people don't have outbreaks. Asia, you have salt water and lemon every morning too. I love that. I just talked about how do you talk to your new partner. Is my husband still negative? Yes, my husband is still negative. My husband is still negative for herpes. Yeah, always negative for herpes. Still does not have it. Can you take acyclovir or Valtrex or valcyclovir while pregnant? So I can speak for myself. It was prescribed to me while I was pregnant. It is something that is prescribed to pregnant mommies. I personally chose not to take it because I didn't want to take anything else. I can't eat a turkey sandwich. I can't have sushi. I can't have wine. You know, you can't go to a deli. You can't have all these things. So why would I take a drug? So that was just my personal thought on it. But you can take it. I did take it the last month that I was diagnosed with herpes. The last month that I was pregnant so that I could have a vaginal delivery. I felt like Clinton was far enough along that it was okay, but during those 8 months, I did not. Whoa, so many questions. Guys, thank you for the follow. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the hearts. You make my day. Ronnie says you have not experienced any rejection. That is awesome. I love that. Thank you for sharing that. When to disclose? Whenever you are ready to be intimate with this person. And I was saying earlier, if it's like very casual DTF, like I just met you, disclose right then. If this is something that you're like, this is someone I'm seeing and I really want to like spend time with this person. I want to get to know this person. Get to know the person. Get to know him or her before you disclose. That's just my own personal take. I personally believe, and I can say this as somebody as I've aged, as I've gone through it, I believe that we jump way too fast into intimacy. I believe it's a big deal. It's a very big deal. It's a beautiful thing. It's a fun thing. It's a wonderful thing. It's something you want to experience with a partner. I absolutely agree with that and I'm all for it. But I believe that we as a society jump in way too fast and it complicates the entire relationship. We either get so attached to the person because we are being intimate, we are giving of ourselves in a very, very intimate way. And so then we become attached. And then when it doesn't work out 3 weeks later, or we realize, oh, this person is like stage 5 or whatever, and we're like, wow, why did I just do this? Or we wake up the next day crying because we just gave of ourselves and the person was like, oh, dude, cool, whatever. And like, no, this was a big deal. So this is just my personal thoughts. You can absolutely disagree with me and I'm all about that. I think that the longer that we wait to be intimate, I'm not saying we need to wait till we're not like end game. We don't need to wait. I'm just saying the longer we can wait to understand if this is somebody I want to share my life with, not necessarily share my life with, share my time with. This is somebody I want to explore. I want to get to know. That's when we're ready. Okay, this is just my personal thought. You're saying you're struggling. Okay, so if you're struggling, I would recommend joining our secret society. It is a private group of people from all over the world. It is a monthly subscription, so it is a monthly cost, and it's very, very, very affordable. I've made it completely affordable for everybody. I do have these lives that are free. I do have thousands of videos on YouTube that are free. I have thousands of videos everywhere that are free. But I do believe that joining the Secret Society, which is a private community that I created in 2017 with people all over the world. We meet 8 times a month live on Zoom. You can show your face or not show your face. But the ability to talk to people is going to be priceless. And this is what will help people get through. I got my calls, people are like, I wish I found this sooner, or this has changed my life. Thank God for this support group. So it's linked for you. It's the Secret Society. It is the original herpes support group. And I've been doing this since 2017. I am also a minister. So this is something you want to look into. If you want to do pastoral counseling or anything like that, I am there for you and I support you. If not, cool. I'm all about it. If you want to, whatever you want to talk about, I'm here to talk about. You're saying you're in your 50s and this advice doesn't apply. How so? Let me know what that means when the advice doesn't apply for being in your 50s. How old am I? I am in my 40s. I am 40 years old. You have herpes B, you mean HSV2, which is one that you have. Since it's common, how does it affect you? So there's HSV1, HSV2. HSV2, 1 out of 6 people have. How does it affect me? It doesn't affect me at this point in my life. When I was first diagnosed, I was 28 years old, and it affected me emotionally. It affected my self-esteem. It affected my confidence. It affected who I dated, why I stayed in a relationship, why I didn't get out of a relationship, why I felt like I had to stay with this person rather than deciding that I could fall in love and date who I wanted. So that was how it affected me. What about pregnancy and herpes? I talk a lot about this. I talked about this earlier on the live. I do have a lot of blog posts and I do have some YouTube videos where I interview my OBGYN when I was 9 months pregnant. So you can definitely watch that, but you can be pregnant with herpes. You can get pregnant naturally, normally, however you want to say it. And you can have a vaginal delivery if you want. So it's absolutely possible. Can you take acyclovir while pregnant? It is prescribed to mommies when they are pregnant. I personally chose not to take it. I also did not take Lysine, Monolaurin, or Andrographis. No, I did not take really anything. I just took prenatals or whatever my doctor recommended. Thank you for everything you do. Honestly, you save me a lot of stress and anxiety. I'm so happy to hear that. Does HSV2 change into HSV1? No, HSV1 is just HSV1 and HSV2 will always be HSV2. The location, if you have oral herpes, you have oral herpes. You have genital herpes, you have genital herpes. But HSV1 can be genital and HSV2 can be oral. I'm just reading your questions, you guys. Oh, and I have to go. I'm on a podcast. Oh, I have to get prepared. I have a podcast in 10 minutes. So let me just see what other questions. Guys, thank you for the hearts. Thank you for the shares. Thank you for the follows. Thank you for the everything. My husband gets tested about every 6 months. So yeah, he gets tested and he's negative. Neonatal herpes can be fatal. It absolutely can. There is a potential risk during delivery. How long did it take for you to notice something was wrong? Like a couple days. It was instant. And for me, it was instant. But for people, you may never have symptoms. It can be dormant in your body for months, years, decades before you have your first outbreak, or even most people don't have outbreaks. As far as me, an antiviral prescription, I can't recommend. I would say what's going to be prescribed to you is whatever your insurance company prefers and what your doctor prefers via insurance. So some doctors prefer Valtrex, some people prefer the generic, which is valcyclovir or acyclovir. It's just going to be whatever works best for you. You can try different ones if you want, but there's not one or other that's better. I'm the only person I'm be with and feel disgusting. You're not gonna only be with yourself for the rest of your life. And I understand the feeling of disgusting. I understand the feeling of saying, I'm gonna stay alone. I'm gonna never date. I understand that, and that breaks my heart. And that is why I'm talking about this. You do not need to be celibate. You do not need to be single. You are not disgusting. It is the stigma. And there is a story that we have all written. I've written, you've written, everybody on this call has added to the stigma. And it's up to you to pick up that pen or pick up that pencil or pick up that crayon or whatever it is and rewrite your story. And this is what I am doing. And this is why I'm talking about this. And this is why I have Life with Herpes. This is why I have the Secret Society, which is a private community. And this is what we talk about. We need to rewrite your story. So I understand where you're at, and there is so much possibility to get through and break through. Guys, I do have a free ebook, 21 pages, Outbreak Remedies. It's all linked for you. Download it. We talk about over-the-counter stuff. We talk about soaks. We talk about topicals. We talk about all sorts of things. All right. Thank you for joining me. I apologize. I have to go. I'd love to stay on longer. I do have a podcast I'm going to be jumping on any minute. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Have a wonderful day. I will see you soon, and thank you so much for the hearts. All right, guys.